Welcome, my fellow degenerates, to the two moods we call Helluva Boss Reviews. In one corner, we have... I'm falling for you, Daddy! And in the other... with everything in between. I fucking loved this episode. Not liked, loved. I didn't know what was going to happen here. Like, we've had these promotional images floating around for forever, and I think we all kind of assumed that it would be the past villains teaming up, creating a let's go kill Blitz mission. I thought this was just gonna be high action, lots of gory fun. Instead, what we got was the M&Ms being the most wholesome thing in hell, watching Stoliz implode. And it was so good. Not for them, obviously, but if you love drama, oh boy, is this episode a treat. So of the many things that I love in this episode, and just a little FYI, my more detailed shipping thoughts will be in a separate video later this week. So subscribe and keep an eye out for that. Which I gotta start with the M&Ms. Moxie and Millie. These two are just the most adorable things in hell. The perfect balance of serotonin for my diseased flame war craving brain. Like, every chance they get is just another example of how great they are together. The entire series has shown us how wholesome and loving they are. From the dozens of little displays of affection, to Millie being Moxie's rock, and to Moxie's just pure devotion to her. Shit happens around them, but never have I ever felt like this relationship was in any danger. They only have eyes for each other, and it's just so cute and how they always support one another in hell. Which, yeah, when you think about it, that's weird. It is weird that you have this wholesome ass couple in the worst place in existence. And this episode kind of finally addresses that in a way. Addresses how out of place these two little lovebirds are. Maybe it's different in Wrath, which is more down to earth. Wrath is a place where people are born and raised and are not the sinners who come down and are trapped here in hell. But up in Lust and Pride, their little cup of domesticity is the exception. These people are demons with nothing left to lose, giving in to all their sinful desires, and straight up dismiss Moxie when he gets on stage to perform a love song, which none of the audience wants. This contrast between the M&Ms and hell has always been there. This isn't something that they suddenly sprung up on us and say, oh no, see, you should have been taking this more seriously. No. This has been slowly seeded out throughout the series. It was just something that we never saw the rest of hell react to, making that scene in Aussie's all the better as we understand how different they are from hell and how they are as a couple. If they just immediately start like, oh, these M&Ms, they're kind of the oddballs in hell. No, we learned to love them first. We always kind of had this idea of like, is this really okay in hell? Then to have this episode come up and just create this contrast between them and the rest of society. And that's just kind of one example of something that this show has been doing perfectly all year. Set up. They've been setting up the M&Ms getting laughed at by the rest of hell, just like they've been setting up all the problems in Blitz and Stoliz's relationship. The writing has been so good because for as much comedy as this show throws at you, it also masterfully sets up ideas and plot elements that will get addressed later. Like how Stella, after all the shit Stoliz has put her through, has moved out of the house, just being done with the whole relationship. Or the subtle hints that Blitz has a history with Fizz, which based on Blitz's pics, yeah, I think they were together. Little teen romance, start out as childhood friends, link to the video where I called all of this, kind of. This is only the first half of the finale, and I cannot wait to see how they pay it all off. Because if we're being honest, not a lot of things technically happen in this episode. It starts with IMP being in their happy murder selves, totally fine, post an episode of events that we didn't see. We find out the M&Ms are having a fancy anniversary dinner.
It's our 1-year marriage anniversary, so I'm taking Millie to Aussie's in the Lust Ring.
Only 1 year? Really? Damn. I thought these lovebirds had been together for like years. But Blitz, in his obsession with vicariously experiencing their soft, loving relationship, uses Stoliz to spy on them in a club, where the soft ballad gets turned into a brutal roast of Blitz's past and Stoliz's whole situation. As Sex on Legs Osmodius turns the attention away from Mox to the couple. Then after they get called out for their relationship woes, an emotionally raw Blitz leaves Stoliz to go sob at home. I'm gonna be watching this on repeat for a while, but I need closure for this, and until I get it, I'm not gonna be okay. But again, if you take a holistic view of this, like of the events that actually happen, not much does. Instead, it's really just payoff for Stoliz and Blitz's relationship. How both their actions have created a hole in Stoliz's life, forcing him to question, was this worth it? And questioning if he even has a future with Blitz. While Blitz's past has been hinted at all season, is now slowly seeping to the surface as we get more and more clues into how he became this self-hating, love-starved demon. Again, I'm gonna have a whole separate ass video for this one later, but this situation I actually guessed in one of my previous videos, and it's slightly cathartic to be proven right. Blitz wanted to be loved. He desperately wants people in his life, but is terrified that they'll leave him, so he acts dismissive and mocking to push people away before they have the chance to leave him. He doesn't want to get hurt. Meanwhile, Stoliz, oh boy, is a bit more of a sheltered rich kid who's not really used to suffering the consequences of his actions or what it means to be in a real relationship. I honestly think that he loves Blitz, but when he got publicly called out for dating an imp, someone who is considered the lowest people in society, couldn't handle the pressure or stand by his choice, especially in the face of his upper crust peers. Stoliz started as this lusty owl making a contract to bang Blitz, but it's grown into something more. We know it, they know it, both of them feel something but aren't entirely sure of what to do now. They don't know if they can be in a real relationship. Stoliz wants to be. He needs this to work. Blitz, bundle of issues that he is, wants something in his life, and honestly, I feel like he is about ready to implode. It's this chaotic mess of sincerity and fucked up that makes me love Stoliz, and this was honestly the best episode I could have asked for, as it really digs into the messed up hole they've dug themselves into. Stoliz has lost his wife, his daughter is growing up and already moving away from him. He's trapped alone in a big empty house, miserable, and wondering, was he worth it? That's why he was so ecstatic to have Blitz call him for a date. He needs this to work. He needs this to be worth it. But at the end of the episode, he was alone again, and watching Blitz use Stoliz to spy on the M&Ms was just painful. Blitz has a complex about the M&Ms, and while the rest of hell is up their own ass, relishing being their toxic selves, Blitz craves how genuine they are with each other, which people can mock all they want, but these two don't care. They're in love and only need each other. In contrast, we have Blitz and Stoliz, who may love each other, but are oh so painfully aware and caring about what other people think of them. And something that I really didn't expect to see was just how awkward Stoliz is with Blitz. And that really just goes back to show that need that he really wants this to work. And I felt so bad for the poor owl boy, but man, was the ending to this episode crushing. Blitz ending this day, it was just too real. Like, the man had an awful night with all of his old wounds getting ripped open, and the guy he is just in such a raw mental state. He's choking back tears the whole conversation, and you can just feel the mix of rage and pain, and just too good. Brandon Rogers really killed it in this episode, and the man is internet famous, but he really doesn't get enough credit for how good of a voice actor he's been in this. With the ending of Blitz being alone in his house, intentionally going through his old photos, and just breaking down like that, this was the best ending by far. Us watching Blitz go through his past and seeing what he treasures the most in those photos was just crushing as we watched him fall apart. We saw him watch Stoliz, the imps, Moxie's first day on the job, adopting Luna, dating Verosika, even old photos of him and Fizz. Then we just stop on this old photo of him and his sister. Originally, the lady at the top was a sibling, but that's now been retconned to be his mother. And just seeing his family is the straw that breaks the camel's back. It causes him to break down. Something happened in Blitz's past that made him like this, and you just know it has something to do with him and his family. Some breakdown happened, and I need it! In less kick you while you're down comments, can I get a round of applause for James Monroe Iglehart as Ozzy? The man's voice was just butter, and I could listen to it all day. His song was fire and just oozed toxic love vibes, mixed with the plant from Little Shop of Horrors. Just having this lust-filled energy that would make cats blush. The song has a lot of different bits, but all of them work so well. Asmodeus is one of the rulers of hell, controlling the ring of lust, and within 10 seconds, I bought it and was simping for more.
Crawling to the bust, little imp, you just must in the house of Asmodeus.
There's just an energy you need for the Demon King of Lust, and this was it. From the voice to the design, just how he treats everything around him as beneath him. This man lives to chew the scenery, and I know for a fact that this man fucks. With his scenes being only enhanced by Fizz playing at being his sidekick, though they do seem a bit closer than sidekick and boss, if the cradling and nuzzling are anything to go by. And another standing ovation for Slutty Marinette, aka Christina V, as Verosika, nailing this role yet again. And with Alex Brightman as Fizz, same deal. Like so many little moments with this gesture, from the reveals of him knowing Blitz to him selling his actual body to Mammon and becoming a cyborg. I want to know all about this a-hole and how he fits into Blitz's backstory. Not gonna get that just yet, but a man can hope. Also, the music in this show deserves all the praise.
Make sure the subject is getting on.
But one understated thing that I think needs to be talked about is I need us all to appreciate the backgrounds in this episode. Like, these are all so nice, just perfectly capturing this vibe of trying way too hard and being for the rich people that you see at a lot of ritzy hotels and casinos. Like, every background could be a painting, and I am all for it. And that club scene is damn near perfect. Stoliz' outfit was also fire, Star Cape beyond cool. And while this episode doesn't have a big holy shit the room is moving like the last episode, but I'd argue that this one is just as pretty, if not more so. Like the colors, the sets. This has just been like the first episode I've watched where I couldn't pick out a moment where something looked off. No janky frame rate, no lip flaps. This was just phenomenal, and I need more. The songs are all good, even if Moxie's isn't to my taste. It's perfect for the scene, which is way more important than it being a bop. There are tons of smaller details that I wish I could get into, but I'm sure someone someplace else will pick up the slack there. Jacket Blitz was great. This whole episode made me want to cry, as it does such a great job of not just doing reveals, but making it feel like a pile-on. It just doesn't stop, dishing out all this drama and trauma, with the M&Ms being the only ones to complete their date night, while the other two are left in shambles. It was one hell of an experience, and I can't wait to get more into Stoliz later. Go fucking watch this shit if you haven't already. You don't need to see this, you need to go experience this. So go forward.
Are you sleeping with an imp?
Alright, that's it. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for all the delicious thoughts on how this episode harpooned my last shipping video and vindicated the first one. So stay tuned for more of that and check out the rest of my catalog. Love you all. Thank you for listening to This Idiot Talk. Stay safe and stay horny.